Next, how science, mysticism, and superstition all play a role in Indonesia's reaction to a deadly volcano. Hundreds of people were forced to flee this week from the fallout of the country's most volatile volcano, which began erupting anew in October.
Mount Merapi is one of the most active and closely monitored volcanoes in the world, and its eruptions in 2006 and 2010 deeply shaped the lives of people in Yogyakarta. In 2006, Merapi erupted shortly before the Yogyakarta earthquake, creating a dual disaster situation. The eruption released pyroclastic flows and ash that affected villages on the slopes, but the earthquake hitting just weeks later worsened the overall impact on communities already under stress. Then, in 2010, Merapi produced one of its largest eruptions in a century. This eruption was far more explosive, with massive pyroclastic surges, widespread ashfall, and the tragic loss of hundreds of lives, including the well-known local guardian figure, Mbah Marijan. Over 350,000 residents were evacuated, and the disaster became a major test of Indonesia's disaster management systems. These two events highlight the vulnerability of communities around Merapi, but they also reveal something else: the extraordinary resilience, solidarity, and coordination from local gotong royong efforts to national and international humanitarian support that emerged in this response. Together, they shaped how Yogyakarta understands disaster preparedness today.
Gegeran aja ngepel sih, gegeran.
Is Mount Merapi of the Mount Merapi.
Mount Merapi volcano has reached 30.
Globalization can be referred to as the increasing flow of goods, information, technology, people, and ideas across national borders, creating deeper social, economic, and political interdependence. Past research has long shown that globalization plays a central role in shaping disaster governance. Wisner and colleagues argue that vulnerability is tied to global economic and political inequalities, while Tiny highlights how international flows of information and humanitarian support create both opportunities and interdependence in disaster-prone regions. Yet much of this literature focuses on national policies or large-scale events, often overlooking the everyday realities of smaller cities. In Indonesia, studies tend to center on Jakarta or major disasters like the Aceh tsunami, leaving gaps in understanding how global disaster frameworks operate in places like Yogyakarta. This documentary addresses that gap by showing how Yogyakarta's communities engage with global actors, digital tools, and transnational knowledge in their efforts to prepare for disasters. Through visual storytelling, we reveal how globalization works on the ground in the global south, shaping daily life, local resilience, and the ways people collectively face the risks around them.